Hey there, it's Diane Forster. Welcome to I Have Today, where we talk about the art of intentional living. And on this show, we're all about inspiring, empowering, and educating you through life's transitions. And I have a very special guest on the show today. I'm bringing back Brian D. Ridgway for the third time. He's the only guest I've had on the show 3 times. And the reason why I'm bringing him back, besides the fact that I love him so much, is because his work is so incredibly powerful. And I named the show today, um, you know, how you can remove these mental blocks, these things that have been blocking you, no matter what you've tried, how hard you've tried, everything you've done, all the gurus you might have gone to, all the seminars, all the books you read, and you're still messed up. You think I'm too messed up even for self-help. That's how Brian used to feel. And I'm bringing him back on the show today because he had this aha awakening moment several years ago. I'm going to have him share a little bit of that story about what happened to him that completely changed his life. And he's on a mission to change the lives and help 300 million people with his incredible work. He's known as the Spellbreaker, and he's going to explain what a spell is. And he's removed spells from me and instantaneously. And so, let me go back to the title of the show. So the title of the show is Remove Mental Blocks in One Session with Brian Ridgway. What he did for me and what I've seen and witnessed him do for other people is nothing short of extraordinary. There's almost no words for what it is. It's because it's just sort of this indescribable, sort of ineffable feeling of release and relief when you see that what's been blocking you is truly one core thing. And when you know this, you start to have the awareness of what this is. He calls it magical. Literally, it's not just like 1 or 2 areas of your life will change. Your entire life will change. And I'm so grateful and blessed to call him a friend. He is a mentor of mine. I am a student of his work. We're going to talk about his book, Break Your Self-Help Addiction, where you can get your copy of it. I highly recommend reading this. Look, I was sharing this with Brian earlier. Like I have Post-its in it. It's completely highlighted in there. Look at it. It's even highlighted in pink and yellow. I learned this from a guru. When you read a book the first time, you read it and you highlight it with one color pen. And then when you read it again, you highlight it with a different color pen because you're picking up new things. And every time I hear him speak, every time I attend any of his events virtually, every time we're together one-on-one, I get more and more insights. And so, of course, I wanted to bring him here today and allow him to explain to you how this works, the work that he's doing, the magic that's happening for people. And I don't just say that in a blasé way. I really mean that it is so magical when you get this. So stay till the end, because what we're going to do is we're going to have Brian on for most of the show today. And we always end the show with a powerful mantra meditation that I'm going to share with you. But it is my intention for you today. I'm going to give you our intention statement for the show, but this is my intention for you with this show in general. I have today this platform that I want you to have information like this, awareness like this, resources like this. I want you to have every possible tool to be living a life beyond your wildest dreams and expectations. And how you do that is I want you to be happy. I want you to be healed. I want you to be empowered. I want you to feel excited by your life. I want you to know that you're enough just as you are. And like he's going to share infinite intelligence and everything that there is you. I'm going to let him say it more eloquently than I just did. But I want all of that for you, that this journey that we're experiencing in this human experience is supposed to be extraordinary. And Brian is one of those guiding lights who is helping people in so many ways. And more and more people need to know about him. And so that's why I wanted to have him on the show and then share my personal experience about what happened for me. So before we get into that, I want to share this week's intention statement. We always do an intention statement, and our statement is this: I have today to remove mental blocks for good. I have today to remove mental blocks for good. How good would that feel? Right? Stop carrying that weight around with you, thinking that's who you really are, and believing things that just aren't true. So, what we do with the intention statements is we have them on my Instagram page at Diane Forster Official. And when you go there, there is a button called Wallpapers. And my team, my amazing team, makes beautiful graphics. And so this one is already there in that section. And just take a screenshot of it, use it as your screensaver for the week, because you're going to look at your phone on average 150 times a day, which means you'll see that over 1,000 times in a week. So if you want to start really living that and believing that, look at that over and over again and allow it to let you be reminded that you can remove these mental blocks for good. So that's where that is. All right. Well, so we're going to bring Brian in just a moment, but first we're going to have a word from our sponsor, the Spifters. So hang on. This week's episode of I Have Today is brought to you by the Spifter. The Spifter is a fun sifting spoon that makes cooking, baking, and decorating with sugars and spices so much fun. No more mess or wasting your spices. It's fast, clean, and easy. Everything looks and tastes delicious. It's also great for straining loose tea, getting pesky broken cork out of your wine glass, and draining liquid off food like olives and capers. Whether you're a novice cook or a gourmet chef, you'll love the results. The Spifter, the kitchen gadget that no kitchen should be without. Hello there, Brian.
Aloha, good morning.
Aloha. How are you doing today?
So awesome and great to be with you again, Diane.
Oh, as always, I just love having you. And as I mentioned, you're the only guest I've had on here 3 times. And it's such an extraordinary experience for me to know you and our journey together that brought us to this moment right now, where I really wanted to have you back on the show. And I wanted the audience to know about you and the work that you're doing, because your work is actually accelerating, and it's getting it's getting faster. The results are getting faster and faster, and the magic that's happening. And I've personally experienced it too. So I wanted to have you on today so that we could, of course, talk about you, talk about the book, talk about this incredible gift that you have and mission that you have in this world, and talk about our personal experience together. What happened for me when you and I worked together. So tell everyone this gift that you have, that you've had since you're 3 years old, and what your ability to do is for people.
Okay, I'm glad you started there. I last night, as I was falling asleep, for some reason, that was the last thought I had right as I was falling asleep. How I would word that now. So it wasn't a gift, like it's a gift today. It was not a gift then. And I had no words for it. So around age 3, as my vocabulary was developing beyond, no, my 2-year-old no, I started to notice that when I would encounter a person, I could see exactly how they were holding themselves back. I could see, first of all, that they were holding themselves back. I could see how they were, and somehow I had this vocabulary to be able to tell them. Like I was saying things that I couldn't have seen, couldn't have known, and there's no way I could have explained, and I was able to do it. When my parents saw this, they figured they were neither religious nor spiritual, so they figured that I either had a demon or an angel, and they had no idea which it was, but it was inexplicable and totally weird. And I hold and feel unconditional love for everybody. It's just like I just love everybody. I have no judgment, no observation of flaws. People tell me about what's wrong with them, and I just laugh like, okay, I don't buy that. You do. But seeing them in their perfection, in their wholeness, and then seeing that they don't believe it and hearing what they say that shows what they believe about themselves, I was able to just launch into telling them. And I took 46 years to learn the most valuable lesson of this life for me, which was don't offer that help until somebody asks for it. Because I was giving it to everybody. And even if the person at first was like, oh my God, this is incredible. What did you just do? In a matter of minutes or hours, they were saying, okay, I didn't ask for help. Like they're starting to freak out a little bit. Like, you can't, number one, how do you know this? And number two, behind the scenes, their soul was saying to me, listen, I'm an infinite, unlimited, eternal being. I'm projecting into this hell on earth to suffer. Don't take my suffering away until I ask for it. So I took a while to catch on, but now I do it as a quote business. I've been doing it for 12 years.
Yes, you do. And you've impacted so many thousands of lives in, I don't know, like 160 countries and, or 160,000 people. And right? Is that the number now?
We're getting close to 200,000 now. And I feel like we're literally just getting started. It's just starting to open up.
It really is starting to mushroom. And the world, I think people are more receptive to it. And I think there's never been a better time in history, especially with what's going on and people are, for lack of a better word, really suffering and struggling because this awakening of this knowledge and information is trying to happen. And I mean, there's so many places I want to go. like I'm all over the place. Could you tell I'm so excited? But I want you to start. So that was your gift / curse. Like, you had this ability as a 3-year-old, and then you went through your life. And I don't want to take up a lot of time with your story today, because first of all, we've had you on the show twice. So we've shared your story. We're going to have links to the other episodes here. I highly encourage people to watch them and learn more about Brian. And then also we're going to have a link for Brian's amazing book, Break Your Self-Help Addiction, which I've read, as I shared already, like devoured a couple times, which also shares the details of it. This book is such a great read. I can't tell you. You walk us through step by step, and I hate the word step, but just on this, your articulation is so good about what's actually happening to people. So just want to say hi, Dynasty. Glad you're here. You're going to get a lot of benefit from this show today. She wrote, so glad this came up in my feed. I have a mental block up and it's hurting me. Okay. So the next thing I want to say is you spent over several $100,000 in personal development and self-help. And I'm one of those people too. And you thought you were too screwed up even for self-help. And then you had that aha moment that day that totally changed your life. And without telling the whole story, I want you to share, what was the aha thing that came through to you like instantaneously, that pivoted your life? You had that moment. You went back up to the hotel room, got a job offer, was on a cruise ship a week later, and 67 days later, you were living your life of your dreams in Hawaii. Like, wham, it all happened. What happened in that moment? What was the experience?
Yeah, well, if I can't tell the story, I'm not going to tell you.
Okay. All right, tell the story. Tell it.
So in that moment, I have to give one precursor very briefly, and that is that I had been studying, as you say, I put about 300 grand into all the self-help and personal development. And I was fascinated with quantum physics and just the idea of everything is energy and all is one. So I had done some really deep exploration into metaphysical studies and different religions and spirituality. And in the moment that I had this awakening experience, the words come out kind of weird, but that's because it's a weird thing. I saw exactly how I am not created, but how I am creating the universe. I saw the origin of it. I saw that I'm in all things and there are no things. Like basically everything I had ever heard and read of oneness and everything being energy, all the stuff that everybody's talking about and thinking about, I experienced it in one flash. Oh, this universe is my actual body. This body is a cell in this body, and I'm not only the universe, I'm the source of the universe. Now, of course, everybody else is too, but that's none of my business. This is me. And when I saw how I had brought everything about, including all of my disasters and suffering, when I saw that, I realized I didn't have to repeat any of it, and I was free of it.
Yeah. And that is the key, Brian. You weren't just knowing, you were being it. You really, you became it.
Yeah.
And you teach people, you taught me, you're teaching me how to do it. And you've taught so many people how to do this. And so what is the one core constraint that everyone is suffering from?
Yeah, well, it's okay. So we've all heard of beliefs, and there's so much work about belief change and belief elimination. So you have beliefs, ideas, decisions, conclusions, rules, values, identities, paradigms, and then the sum of everything the way I have come to word it over the years is everything you think and believe that you know, the vast majority of which is hidden from you in your so-called unconscious by you, because you don't want to feel the feelings that are associated with it. All of that information, all that knowledge, and all those emotions together make your core paradigm, which is what you believe you and the universe is. What you see you and then the universe to be. That's your core paradigm of everything. And when that core paradigm is based in separation, this is not new information I'm saying, but when it's based in separation, it's false and you're going to suffer forever, basically. And when you return to the awareness of oneness, which is that literally all is one, and it's arising from one source that's even beyond the concept of one. See, the words come out weird because they can't be said linearly, but that's really the core truth. Everyone who is believing, even if they say no, and this is one of my humorous things, like it's just hilarious to me, although when I was in it, it wasn't funny. I'm surrounded by people who are talking, all is energy, all is one, and you create your own reality. And they don't believe it at all. The vast majority of people are not even remotely living it. So it's very frustrating to know these things and not be able to step into the experience of it and hold that experience and stay in it. So the shift of that core paradigm is to step into oneness. Oh, wow. And then morality and love and compassion are automatic and effortless because you're coming from what you actually are. Until then, you're trying to come from what you think you're supposed to be. And that is really not easy or fun.
It's not. And I'm one of those people, I teach and preach, and I teach and preach what I've learned, what I know has created some success for me and many blocks for me. And I've struggled with a lot of different modalities and thoughts and beliefs and processes. And when you and I spoke, I dumped on you. And this was not planned. You and I were connecting for another reason, and you just draw it out of me. Like you just draw it out of people, which is so cool. And I just like I shared all of it. The goals, my dreams, the vision. It's so big. I'm not ready. All the positive, like, oh my God, I've had so much growth. I've had so much expansion, blah, blah, blah. But meanwhile, I got all this stuff over here. And you totally dismantled that illusion from me in a matter of a few minutes. And my experience was, as you were doing it, and you guys, this is really important. Listen to this. As Brian and I were working together, again, this wasn't even a planned session. We just sort of went there. This last conversation, it was all coming to me. It was just like the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, lifting off these stupid beliefs that I have. Like, it was just so many at once. So while there's this core constraint, like this core belief that we're separate from it, the universe, that we're everything. And like you said, we become, when you realize you are the energy and you become the energy, how different it is. I could just feel, I could feel these layers of false beliefs, lies, opinions, everything that you just said, the whole list of them, just fallen away. It was really magical. And then when we hung up, and you told me right away, go lay down. I went and I laid down and I slept for like an hour. I slept hard, man. And then I basically just got up and washed up and went to bed. And the next day, I think I told you this, I felt everything hurt me. Like my hair hurt, my face hurt, like everything hurt for a few minutes. And it was like this unleashing was happening in this amazing way. And a little bit of me was mad at you, like, darn it, Brian, And then I was like, oh my God, thank God for Brian. Thank God, because I was like, I didn't expect it. And then OMG, as soon as that day, the magic that started to happen in my life, like getting speaking opportunities, landing new clients, just all of this great stuff instantly started flowing in. Instantly. So incredibly powerful. I don't even know that you know that. I don't know that I shared that with you.
Nope. And I'm always surprised at how I'm not even any longer surprised at how I'm just always surprised by how this happens every time.
Well, it's such a blessing for you. And I know it's a humbling experience, if you even use that word, to be able to have this ability to help people in this way, feel this way. And
let me slip something in. Let me just, because this is one of those things, right? So I no longer do humble or pride.
I know.
I have nothing to do with either. And so it's not that they're bad things. It's just, it's another false duality that's in the mirror of all the mirrors of all the false dualities. And this concept that we're supposed to be humble. Oh, it's not me. It's,
yeah.
I know I can't use my colorful language on this show, but that's BS, and I am that. Yeah. I am that. And that's not megalomaniacal, narcissistic, anything. Everyone is that infinite, unlimited being. Why humble that to please or make somebody else feel good? And why be proud about it when you're aware that all is that? So I just enjoy it. I just enjoy the whole experience.
Yeah. And you also don't really solicit your services. You really attract people who really want to do that. Like they are so ready. They feel stuck and they're ready to do it. And you don't have to, you can just tell. You can tell when someone's there. And I think that part of the reason why I wanted to share this with people is because I think, like me, what I said to you that night was because you were like, why aren't you working with me? Not in a soliciting way. You were just like baffled because of our conversation. And my words to you were, I see what's coming for me, because I'm intuitive too. And at least I think I see what's coming for me in this infinite, unlimited, universe and world, right? Unlimited possibilities, right? And I said, I'm scared. I'm not ready. That's the only reason why. Because if I was, I would, right? Because I'm a student of life. Like I want to know, I want to learn, I want to grow, I want to expand. I love that. And so I think some people are also afraid of it because it's, and again, I'm going to use cliches. Feel free to rip my language apart. I don't care. That it's that devil versus the devil you don't know. And, and so like you can see and they can't. And part of not being able to see it is what keeps, I'll speak for myself, what kept me or keeps me stuck or kept me stuck from it, because I see what I want or I perceive that I want. And I see a lot of hard work, struggle, the stupid beliefs that we have, right? But they're still there. And you were able to very quickly lift all of that off and expose the question of, if it's okay if I share it, your big question is, what do I want to experience? What do I want to experience? Yeah. So talk a little bit about that.
A little.
Well, I mean, you go, you flow.
Well, you said we have 10 hours for this interview. Did I get that right? So I'll tell you what, I'm going to blast through. So doing this since I was 3 and doing it day and night for 12 years, I have had several, I call them rants, that have come through me. And it's kind of amazing because I'd be on a session 5 years ago and someone asked me a question and I'll do a 15-minute rant that, looking at it later, I could not have spent 5,000 hours crafting it and then editing it down to that rant. It just comes through completely, complete and perfect and right on target. One of the things recently has been, I call it the 5 lessons from hell. And they, in the simplest nutshell, here's what they are without much elaboration. The first one is that it's not okay to be. And anyone can see experiences they had from pre-birth till now, for even forgetting about the idea of past lives or other lives in this life. Not okay to be, not okay to be me, because, oh, look at them, they're okay, but obviously I'm not welcome here. Not okay to be me wanting. Okay, we know what happens when we want. Not okay to be me wanting and expressing what I want. And you'll probably notice how these are stacking on top of each other, right? So not okay to be, not okay to be me, not okay to be me wanting, not okay to be me expressing what I want. And oh God, let me not ever get what I want, because it is definitely not okay to be me wanting, expressing what I want and getting it, because I know what happens when I do. Anybody who wants to do one little exercise that will reveal so much to them about where they're coming from, what's going on in their life, and why they're getting what they're getting, just ask yourself, what experiences did I have from pre-birth till now that I can remember or partially remember, in which I learned not okay to be, or not okay to be me, or not okay to, okay. So then it comes to that last one, which is, oh God, it's not okay to get. And when this is the only one I'll elaborate on for a minute to answer your question. When I got that Christmas present that I had been wanting for 3 months, I watched those commercials for 3 months, and I'm 6 years old, and I opened it's under the tree. I knew that's what it was. And I open it, and it's a plastic piece of junk that doesn't make me sexy and beautiful and smart and the envy of all my friends. They lied to me on that commercial for 3 months. And I mean, I was so, as a child, that's devastating. It is not we look at it now like, isn't that cute? No, it wasn't cute. And all the other times we got what we want, when mom and dad said, well, yes, you can have it. Okay, now here you have it, but you're going to pay. You have it, but we're going to tell you how you can use it. Oh, you can have it, but no, you can't take it to your friend's house and play with it. That's why I wanted it, was to take to my friends. So we learned that getting what we want leads to such pain and such frustration. And we haven't recovered and exhaled all those conclusions that we reached and all those decisions that we made. I'll never do this again. And all the emotion that was bound up in those experiences. So here I am today, thinking of what I like, what I would want, what I would most want to experience, and dreaming of having it. I am not going to let myself get that, because I know exactly what will happen when I do. So we create all these things inside of ourselves that we then don't go after what we want, because we know what would happen if we got it. And maybe the most clever thing of all is the person who asked me, well, Brian, what do you do when you don't know what you want? And that's the ultimate fantasy, to pretend that you don't know what you want, but it's the safest way to not go after it and get it and then receive all that pain.
That is so fascinating. So fascinating. So the level of not feeling deserving of it is really stemming from all this, the 5 lessons from hell.
Yeah. Who do you think you are? How dare you want that? Don't you see we're suffering? And she didn't get it and you didn't get it, but you know, she can have it, but you can't. It just goes on and on and on. And we don't want to experience any of that pain. And we know that if we go after what we want, we're going to get all these things we don't. So most of the time we don't even try.
Yeah. Lynn Rose is in here. Lynn, thank you for putting all of those in there, the 5 lessons from hell in a nutshell. And you've been struggling with the not okay to get. Yeah. Or you can get it and it's going to be taken away. Yes, it's so powerful, Brian. See, every time you're here, I learn something new, which I love. I love so much. What motivates you and inspires you?
Unconditional love.
Yeah.
I know that. So, you know, I was talking a moment ago about humble and and pride, right? Humble and proud. Similarly, selfish and selfless. Those are 2 utterly BS topics. They have no reality. It was created. The concept was created to guilt trip and hold people in fear. And you don't want to be selfish, but wait a minute. Ultimately, I am the self with a capital S. Of course I'm selfish. and we got this idea that selfish was bad tied up in those 5 lessons from hell. And so when I look out and I see that you're me, then I can be generous because I know that I am that which generates the universe at all times. So there's no lack in generosity. And knowing that you're me, the most selfish thing I can do to benefit myself is help you as much as I possibly can. So there's my motivation. It's inspiration.
It's beautiful, that unconditional love. Yeah. When we were working together, you said to me, and you probably say this, you know, to a lot of people that you work with, it's like, Diane, you know, your soul's here and my soul's here and you know, our souls are talking right now. And, you know, she's saying all this crazy stuff that's not even true or whatever. And how do we say this to her in a way that she can let go of this? Yeah. So I want you to, can you tell, talk about why you call them spells? You do, you know, you're the Spellbreaker. So what is a spell? Explain this in case anybody doesn't know this, because this is what you do and you are so masterful at this.
Okay, so you know, the old idea of witchcraft and spells, and so much of that has been so much of that information that we've heard, all of our opinions about it are crafted for us by authorities that seem to pre-exist us, ancient religions and all these things that had reasons to either praise or badmouth these things and create words like witch, witchcraft, wizardry, whatever. The powers that shouldn't be love to reduce our access to power. And if they can demonize our power and our magic, okay. So there's that. And we've all heard the idea of spells, someone having a spell cast on them. And what I discovered was that virtually everything you believe is a spell that you have had cast upon you. Now, the irony is there's no one who can actually cast another spell on you but yourself, because you're the infinite, unlimited, eternal being. You are the source of all that is. Therefore, everything that comes to you, you did it, even if it appears to come from or through another person. It'd be more accurate to say it's coming through another person, because you're the infinite source of even that. And so to believe that you're not lovable is a spell, and it's composed of many other spells. So I say there's like almost like virtually hierarchies of spells. Yes. The largest spell of all is I'm separate. This is not me and this is me. That's the biggest spell of all. And then contained within that, there's this hierarchy of spells that lead back to things we decided and learned underneath those 5 lessons from hell. And then there's the element of emotion. There's the element of emotion woven into that, where it's one thing to pick up a piece of information and have it affect you, to believe that, to believe I'm not lovable. There's a spell. But to have I'm not lovable And here's the 500 times when I was a child that I was shown and I suffered in emotional pain, being shown that I'm not lovable and I don't deserve to be loved. So now you have these spells that are woven in with emotion, and we master not feeling those feelings without any clue that we're doing it. And so I'll slip this in.
Yeah.
Probably the most radical statement that I make. I do a lot of one-on-one work, and I do a lot of group work. And every time I start a new group and I do the orientation session, one of the things I absolutely cover every time is this. I'm going to put this in the very fewest words here. So and I'm already transmitting it for anybody that wants to receive it.
I don't get it.
I mean, I'm going to approach it from a slightly different angle. So here I am learning that I'm not lovable and picking up these ideas, and the emotion gets woven into them. And I propose that the greatest skill we've ever developed in this lifetime, you, me, and everybody, the greatest skill we ever mastered was how to not feel our feelings.
Yep.
And when I say that, I mean, we've put more time and hours and mastery than any Olympic athlete has ever put into any skill, any chess master, any ninja that we think, oh my God, that's superhuman. No, we are ultimate superhumans at not feeling our feelings.
Wow.
And so the spells that have emotion attached. Okay, here's a silly example. Let's just say that you thought right now that the sky was blue outside. I said, no, I looked out 5 minutes ago and it's gray. And you look out the window, oh, you're right, it's gray. So you believed it was blue right now, but it's gray. That didn't hurt you. There was no shock involved. But you believe you're not lovable and that you're never going to have the unlimited love of a person with total acceptance under all circumstances. You know that's not going to happen. And that is woven in with deep sadness and fear.
Yes.
So to break those spells is what liberates that energy, like what happened for you when we had that brief conversation several days ago. And next thing you know, the whole thing is cracking open for you on multiple dimensions. And so that's what spells are, and that's what happens when they're broken.
Yes.
I'm gonna summarize one more thing here, if I may.
Of course.
All right. So this idea that all is one and everything is energy. What if everything that you've been getting, including the emotions that you feel? So let's just pick one thing. A lot of people not in a relationship feel like they don't want to be in a relationship. They know what would happen if they're in a relationship, so they decide not to go into one. The only thing keeping them from that, or from that dream career, or taking that next step, or leaving the relationship they've been in for 30 years, is the emotions that they fear they would feel if they were to take that action.
Yes.
So in a way, you could say that the wall that surrounds us is made of the bricks and the rocks of everything we think and believe that we know. And the mortar that holds it together is the emotion that we're so desperately trying to not feel. And when you feel that emotion, when you are willing to bring that emotion up and trust that you can feel it and move through it, you're dissolving the mortar, and all the rocks fall right back into the place of perfection with no effort.
Yes. Wow. That was amazing. Amazing. It's so true. Brian. It just clicks, you know? I hope everybody who's watching this or listening to this on the podcast got that. Like that's a writer downer. Listen to it again. I wanted, what do you want? Like, what do you want people to know? Besides what you just said, but really, like right now, what do you want people in the world to know?
Okay, I gotta say my answer to that's kind of weird, because
Bring it.
well, okay, so there is this idea that in Buddhism and some other, not knocking any religion, praising any other religion, it's just that there's this idea, may all beings be happy, may all beings be at peace.
Yeah.
that's a violation of the freedom of those beings, because when an infinite, unlimited being, which is eternal love and joy and peace, projects out of eternity of infinite power and love and joy and peace into Earth Academy in order to have an experience in time and space with limitation and pain and misery and suffering, to go through this hell on earth in order to come to some awakening, and you interfere in that, you're actually violating them. So I don't want anybody to know anything. I don't want anybody to see anything or know anything. However, if somebody comes to me for help, or if someone wants freedom, I want them to know that they're perfect. There's nothing wrong with them. There never was. What they are cannot be wrong or right, and that's just a lie they were sold.
Yes. You know, there's no one on the planet like you, Brian. At least I haven't found anybody like you yet. I don't think you have either. In fact,
I've been looking. There's got, maybe not on Earth. Maybe it's just on a different planet or something.
But there's this. You really, I don't want to use the word mastered, because it sounds like, you know what that means. But you are at this place of, you know, what you want for people is unconditional love. But that's who you are. And you really, really, really embody that. And you just loving unconditionally, but not pushing your agenda anybody's way or anything like that. And
so you invited me, right? You invited me to do this. So I'm going to do this. Look at the but in the middle of that sentence.
Yeah.
I love them unconditionally, but I would replace that but with an and. It's not because but is a bad word. I hear all the philosophies about don't use but because no, that's not. It's about speaking truth. So I love them unconditionally, and therefore I don't need to wish anything on them or fix them or bring anything. There's a concept here of being whole, right? And this concept of empowerment. There's nothing wrong with those phrases. The only thing is, you can't actually empower anyone who is an infinite, unlimited, powerful being. All you can do is remind them of their power. And so to put oneself in the position of I empower others, I put myself in prison, because now I better deliver. I better show up and empower these people, when the fact is, like, if looking at my website, which the most difficult thing I've ever done, there's no such thing as hard or easy either, but the most difficult thing was really when my team's asking me, okay, what are you, Brian? What do you do? And I said, okay, well, they call me a spiritual teacher. I don't use that word. They call me a healer. I help people with all kind of physical stuff. I don't call myself a healer. So the word that works for me is reminder. I'm just reminding you that I ain't healing nobody. I'm just reminding you that you're already whole. I'm not fixing any wrongs. I'm just reminding you don't have any rights or wrongs.
You are the reminder. You really are. And everyone who's watching this or listening to this, you really need to follow Brian, get his book. I highly encourage working with him, especially if you've been stuck, quote unquote, stuck. You believe you're in your own way and you're like, dang, I'm just done with this stuff. I just don't want this anymore. He's not kidding. And I've seen it over and over again. Well, we're going to put a link up for you in a second, but I want to make this point, you guys, that Brian's work is so powerful that when he's working with someone, whether privately, like with me, if he was like, we did a spell break on me last time I had you on as a guest, or in a group setting, when he's working with somebody and doing these spell breaks and releasing all this stuff, it's not just happening for the person, it's happening for everybody. It's amazing how everybody feels healed, feels better. It's just so extraordinary. So we're going to put up a link for your book right now. So we want everyone to go to breakyourselfhelpaddiction.com, breakyourselfhelpaddiction.com, and go there. Get the book, follow Brian's work, contact him and work with him. I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for me, Brian. It's really been extraordinary. We're not going yet. We're going to go in a few minutes, but I want to make sure everybody got that in right now, because don't wait another minute. if you're tired of feeling pain, suffering, get rid of the scars, get rid of the beliefs, get rid of the stuff that's holding you back. And I personally have a long way to go, and I'm not labeling myself. I'm just aware that there's more for me to do because I want to. I want to be just like you, Brian. I want to live in 100% unconditional love. Just that's what I want. So, yeah.
Are you sure you have a long way to go?
Oh, no, I'm not sure.
And you guys can all friend me on Facebook, and if I have 5,000, I'll delete a few after this interview. And
It's so good. Okay, hit me. Give it to me. What I just did.
What?
No, come on.
Well, okay, so I'll address that one simple thing you said. Okay, so you want to do something?
Yes.
All right, well, let's do it then. Okay, so close your eyes, if you will.
Okay, can we do it in like 5 minutes?
Or less.
Oh.
Okay,
master.
All right, so the master is you and me. So you just breathe and relax for just 1 minute. So I'll reiterate something you said for everybody else, and then I'm going to come directly in with you. So Diane said a few minutes ago that when I'm working with a group, and then I'll be working with one individual, I might have 700 people on live, and I'm working with one person just like I am with Diane right now. The reason why everybody who's watching and breathing and present has the same breakthrough from a different angle is because everybody all is one. And so Diane is me under her circumstances, and I am you under my circumstances. That which is most private and personal and unique is most universal. It's in everybody. And so, all right, so just if you would say out loud, I have a long way to go.
I have a long way to go.
And feel everything that happens in your belly and your chest and your neck and your back. Feel any tightnesses in your throat, and say it one more time if you would.
I have a long way to go.
Yeah, feel that. And just subconscious mind, make a scan, make a snapshot of everything that's going on in the physical body and the emotional body, and just notice that. And then, Diane, if you would just give yourself a shiver from tailbone to crown, like you just had a chill, just pretend you're shaking all of that off. And okay, perfect. Now reset. And then if you would say, up until now, I had a long way to go.
Up until now, I had a long way to go.
And see what feels different.
Yeah.
Okay, and feel that.
Yep.
Scan through your body, scan through your emotional body, subconscious mind, make a snapshot of everything that's different. And then just shake that off, tailbone to crown, like you just had a shiver. All right. And then if you would say out loud, please, up until now.
Up until now.
I perceived
that
I had a long way to go.
That I had a long way to go.
But I don't really know if that's true.
I don't know if
I don't know if it's long.
I don't know if it's long.
I don't know if it's a way.
I don't know if it's a way.
I don't know if I got to go anywhere.
I don't know if I have to go anywhere.
Maybe I don't have a long way to go.
Maybe I don't have a long way to go.
Maybe I was just doing that to make it hard.
Maybe I was just doing that to make it hard.
So I could deserve it when I got there.
So I could deserve it when I got there.
Maybe I'm beyond deserving and undeserving right now.
Maybe I'm beyond deserving and undeserving right now.
So maybe I'm already there.
So maybe I'm already there.
And feel how your body feels different now.
Feels so good.
Now see how you feel saying I have a long way to go.
I can't even say it. I can't even say it, Brian.
I know what you mean.
I mean, I'm not doing theatrics for the show. I seriously don't want to do it.
Perfect. It wasn't true.
It wasn't true.
It wasn't true all the times you ever said it.
I was going to say big, but it's all relative. That was really powerful. I hope everybody felt that about yourself, wherever you are in your journey. If it's health, if it's love, if it's career, if it's money, The belief, do you have that belief like I just did? Like I have a long way to go? Good. I'm glad you felt it, Lynn. Lynn felt it. She said powerful. Christine said amazing. Yes. This is so, Janine said yes. Yeah. See how it works? It's amazing. Amazing.
Perfect way to wrap the show, huh?
It is the absolute perfect way to end the show. And I'm so grateful that you were here with us, Brian. And is there any final word you want to say to the audience?
Yeah, I'll just tell you who's hearing my voice right now or seeing me on the video, there is nothing wrong with you. There never has been anything wrong with you. You don't have any punishment coming unless you really want to. And if you've decided you are going to have punishment coming, then you're right. And you can undecide that. You are beyond right and wrong. You're beyond good and bad. You created this whole dream, including the nightmare part, so you could have an experience and you can change it whenever you're ready.
Beautiful. Will you do one more thing for me? We collected intention statements from our guests, and our intention statement for the show is I have today to remove mental blocks for good. Will you say something that's your intention statement that it starts with I have today to?
Absolutely. I have today to remember that there are no mental blocks to be dissolved.
Perfect. So good. So good. Well, I love and adore you. I'm so grateful.
It's mutual.
To have you here today. And thank you for always being so open and, showing up in the beautiful unconditional love that you are and spreading it. And so
thank you for creating me in your universe so I could show up and remind you of it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I know I'll talk to you soon. Thanks again. Guys, don't forget, go to his site at breakyourselfhelpaddiction.com to get his book, find out about his work, and also follow you on social media, Brian. Are you Brian D. Ridgway everywhere?
Yeah. On Facebook, it's brian.d.ridgway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. All right. I will speak to you soon, my friend.
Aloha.
Aloha. Bye. So amazing. I hope you guys are feeling that and feel how amazing that felt. I hate, I'm using the word amazing a lot, but it really feels amazing. We only have a couple minutes before the end of the show, and I wanted to just end with what we always do here at I Have Today, which is a live mantra meditation. And I always take what our guest has offered us today and have you leaving the show feeling better at the end than you did at the beginning. But I'm feeling like you guys already are feeling that way. So what we're going to do is we're just going to close our eyes. I'm going to guide you to do 2 breaths. I want you to breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds, hold it for 4, and then breathe it out of your mouth like you are blowing out birthday candles for 8 seconds. You're going to feel like this deflated balloon. It's going to feel really good. We're going to do that 2 times and then just listen to the words. Okay, you ready? Close your eyes. If you're driving, obviously don't close your eyes, but you can still participate. Here we go. Breathe in for 4. Hold it for 4. And breathe out for 8. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in for 4. Hold it for 4. And breathe out for 8. Keep your eyes closed and just listen to the words. I have today to love my life. Something really good is going to happen to me today. I can feel it. Miracles, big and small. I notice them all. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. I have today to live in unconditional love, knowing that I am everything. I am part of infinite intelligence, infinite possibilities, and that I'm no longer going to allow my limiting beliefs, my pain, the stories I would tell myself over and over again, whether they were mine or from somebody else, which means they're really mine, according to Brian, stop me from living the experience that I want to live while I'm on this journey. I'm going to really start questioning things. Is that really true? Is that really true? Just like Brian did on the show today with Diane, and how powerful that was, and how easy you can release that. And I can release that. And I'm going to know and love and accept myself unconditionally. I'm going to ask myself, what do I want to experience? I'm going to follow these processes by Brian and follow his work and get to that core constraint that's been holding me back my whole freaking life. I'm ready to let it go. I'm ready to allow the miracles in not just some areas of my life, in every area of my life, flow to me easily and effortlessly. I am pure love. I am pure light. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all your comments and your likes and your shares. Please remember to follow us. We're live every Monday at 11 a.m. at I Have Today with Diane Forster on Facebook and on YouTube. We're also on the E360 TV network. If you prefer to listen to this as a podcast, you can check out my podcast, also at I Have Today with Diane Forster. So give me a follow, give me a subscribe, give me a rate and review. It would mean the world to me. If this had an impact on your life today, please don't keep me a secret. All right? Have a beautiful today, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.